The one thing I can tell you about Scream 7 was that it was absolutely incredible to be invited. That is a lovely community of people.
Today's Scream 7 update not only gives us a fresh perspective on this upcoming Sydney story, but may also give us an idea as to when we will see the first trailer for the film. Now let's get into it. Hey everybody, I'm Killjoy Jake, and instead of having friends, I have horror movies. Kicking off today's video are more interviews with franchise creator and director of Scream 7, Kevin Williamson. Chatting with Screen Rant, Williamson talked about how he got the directing gig and addressed the absence of the Carpenter sisters, saying it was sort of, well, what's going to happen after we lost Melissa and Jenna and it just looked like we weren't going to see the Carpenter sisters in a third movie. It was kind of a bummer. It's like, what do we do next? I appreciate that he's finally addressed this in some capacity. A lot of fans love these new characters and are really bummed that they're not returning for another film. Williamson continued saying, and then this idea to bring back Sidney Prescott. And not just bring her back, but to focus on her character, tell her story of who she is today. That got really exciting for me, and I think other people got really excited about it. And then they started writing a script. Jamie came up with this great story, Jamie Vanderbilt and Guy Busick, and it just sort of took on a life of its own. And then Nev read it and heard the pitch, and she signed on. I was still just the executive producer who was just sort of there watching from the sidelines. And then Nev came to me one day and said, I think you should direct this. And I went, no. Okay, I'll do it. Lots of things to love here. I have said from the beginning, no matter who Scream 7 focuses on, just make them the sole focus. That was a big issue I had with Screams 5 and 6, constantly diverting the attention to a bunch of nostalgia baiting instead of building up the character of Sam Carpenter, who I still feel has a lot of potential for more stories because the two big movies she was in doesn't even focus on her character that much. Or at least on the most uninteresting aspects to her character, her being Billy's daughter. I don't care. Melissa Barrera brings a lot of life to that character, and I would have loved to have seen some sort of detach from the past to just focus on who Sam is today. So even though Sidney Prescott is a character who has already had her story told, I am excited that this movie is hopefully going to focus on just that, maybe leaving the nostalgia baiting crap in the past. Hopefully that's not just a built-in component of this series moving forward. And also, I can't stress this enough, passion from any director is a great thing to hear. Kevin seems to be thrilled to be telling this story, and I really hope that it delivers. With how many dead characters are returning and many of the film's biggest surprises already released to the public, I'm worried one of the biggest things going for this film is just going to be nostalgia again. Hopefully there's more to this one. Before we go any further, I real quick want to ask you guys to subscribe to my horror gaming channel. Over on GullGotha, I've just posted a video playing the new Terrifier arcade game. It's a ton of fun over there playing a bunch of horror themed games on stream and in videos. Please subscribe so I can feed my cats. Thank you all, now back to the video. Kevin has been super busy lately promoting his new series, The Waterfront, which is why he's been interviewed a bunch talking about this new Scream movie. In a different interview with Collider, Kevin confirmed a rumor regarding Sydney, saying, I'm excited because I love Neve Campbell so much, and I love the cast. I'm just totally immersed in Sidney Prescott and who she is, and everything she's been through, and all these different incarnations of her life as seen through the entire franchise. And now what I love about this movie is that we get to go home with her and see who she is today and how she's raising her children, what kind of person lives through everything she's lived through, and still manages to wake up and get out of bed and be a mother, and to be a business owner, and to be all these things. What does she do when Ghostface comes calling? It's just another way to tell the story. Kevin doubles down in this interview about the film focusing on Sydney's life. Hopefully it's not another passing of the torch requel film where it's actually just all about Sydney's daughter. With all due respect to Isabel May, I just don't care. Focus on the character you're telling me you're going to focus on, unlike the last two films. I am begging you as a Scream fan to please do that. He also confirms that yes, Sidney Prescott is a business owner now, which is something we've kind of known through rumors and set photos for a while now. When we were covering the actual production earlier on this year on the page, we talked a bit about how Sidney Prescott is going to own a coffee shop. We've also seen some photos of it too, like this one here. I even revealed that I got to see a video of Isabel May getting chased by Ghostface around this same location. I wasn't gonna talk about this publicly, but a bunch of YouTubers already have. I think it's kind of spoilery because it rules out Sydney's daughter is Ghostface, not that they would ever take that direction though. I mean, that would be a twist, come on now. How many family members are going to betray Sydney? Like, it's starting to get a little ridiculous. It's gotta be somebody else here. There's a second part to this Collider interview that I loved, where Kevin says, "What I love about Scream is that it can take so many different avenues. Now that it's a franchise, we can go to New York, we can go to a small town, we can go anywhere we want. It's opened and expanded beyond just Woodsboro, California, and that's what I love about Scream. It's broadened and it's grown and it keeps going. There's never one killer, there's always a new killer and a new motive. We have that mystery element. That's what I love about Scream. That's what I wanted it to be, and I'm so blessed that it became what it became." This is what I love about where Scream is right now too. Sure, Scream 6 didn't have the strongest mystery of the franchise. I don't even think fans of that film are saying that, but it was able to play around with a lot of franchise tropes, which is unfortunate that Scream, of all the franchises out there, has tropes now. Scream 7 should be no different, in my opinion, trying to find ways to subvert that. This quote and a lot of the other things Kevin has been saying, especially in this video here, kind of confirms that, yeah, they're trying to find ways to get around those things and do something unexpected for the fans. Kevin also talks about the challenges that come along with this entry, saying, "It's really hard. It's Scream 7. Let's not fool ourselves. How do you do that? It's a challenge. You want the audience to be scared and want them to have a good time, but Scream is a lot more than that. It's comedic, it's dramatic, it's emotional, and it's scary, but it's hard to keep all that alive. You just work really hard to keep it fresh and to keep the turns and twists coming." All of this is very humbling and an incredibly necessary statement. I feel like there's been this facade of confidence over Scream 7 that just feels a little out of place considering all of the drama that has happened in the past couple of years. There's nothing wrong with having faith in your new project, but to not address the issues that have come along with it tells me maybe you're faking some of your excitement. This statement here feels honest and human. And let's be honest, Scream 7, just that title alone, comes with some challenges. The Scream movies are murder mystery films that build upon one another. If the creators aren't realizing that the story is getting a little convoluted, something is wrong. It's one of the big reasons I pushed for this series to potentially follow new characters at some point, leaving the legacies in the past. Just because, like, how can you execute a well-done murder mystery with the same people over and over and over again? Eventually, you're gonna run out of people who want to kill Sidney Prescott. Scream needs a lot of key elements to work, and one of them is a really well-done murder mystery that hopefully isn't too predictable. If you just keep bringing back the same old characters that tie back to the original film, eventually you're going to get constant overcomplicated messes, where these films should just be fun little murder mysteries with some camp, meta moments, and bloody kills. Kevin actually addressing that doing Scream 7, especially in this way, is a challenge gives me a lot more faith in the film, however. This tells me the creatives have thought a lot about some of the issues that fans have had with the last couple of films and found ways to work around them. Hopefully that means that some of Scream 7 is actually something fresh, opposed to just tacking together a bunch of nonsense just for nostalgia baiting purposes. I also have to give credit to Kevin Williamson. This is not an easy thing for someone who is especially a franchise creator, not only the director of the new film, to admit here. I have a lot of respect for things like that. There were a few other tiny updates on the film, like Hayden Panettiere has pretty much addressed the fact that she's not going to be in this flick. We never got any word that she was joining the cast, which sucks considering how many legacy characters have joined Scream 7, but Kirby Reed, unfortunately, will not be doing any detective work in this upcoming installment. She does hope to play the character again sometime in the future, though, and there's definitely going to be more Scream movies, let's be real. The juiciest news on Scream 7 comes from composer Marco Beltrami, though. When asked when he'll have the Scream 7 score done by a fan on Instagram, he replied by saying that it'll be done in August. This is extremely notable because usually the last thing that's done in post-production is completing the score on a film. That usually means that the next phase is the marketing, which means a trailer. I've speculated for a while that the Scream 7 trailer will drop sometime towards the end of the year, but this means it may come even sooner. With the release date being February 27th, usually horror films start the marketing process about 3 months prior, which would be the end of November. Now, usually I would say, oh, the Scream 7 trailer is coming out alongside Thanksgiving too, which currently has a November of 2025 release date. But the thing is, the star of that film, Nell Verlaque, has recently confirmed that they haven't even started filming yet. There is absolutely no way in hell that that movie is coming out in November if they haven't even started filming. Or maybe they did just start filming, it ain't coming out in November. Unfortunately, that's just crazy talk. I don't think we see Thanksgiving 2 until November of 2026. With that being said, Scream 7's trailer could drop at the tail end of spooky season. You know, the time period where a lot of people are usually rewatching that entire franchise. That would be a perfect time to drop it, opposed to November where there's a major horror horror slump. Trust me, I know all about it. It is impossible to get people to watch horror videos during that time of year. I'm currently preparing for it. If it's a big drop for me, it's gotta be an even worse drop for the big studios who actually put out horror films. If I were Spyglass, I'd personally release the trailer maybe a week before Halloween. I'm excited to finally see the trailer and also have a better understanding of what this film is all about. A lot of the updates we've gotten have been all over the place. What do you guys think about everything going on in the world of Scream 7 during the past week? Let me know down in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to this page either for more updates on all your favorite upcoming horror releases. Also, check out the merch store so you can show off your love of horror films and lack of friends. Channel members have a 10% off discount for the summer, and prices were recently reduced. Check it out by clicking on the link in the description of this video. Thank you all for watching, please subscribe, and as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.